we had a listing out, and everybody, it's, on the MLS, like investor special. So just picture what that looks like in your mind, because this was one of those properties. There was a pool in the backyard, looked like there could have been an alligator in there type of a thing. Like very
totally
swampy.
green, swampy, disgusting.
Just a property that it needed some TLC. Our whole team was there. We were hosting an investor open house. I mean, there was like stuff growing on the wall. It was just, it had, somebody needed to come in and flip it.
Was somebody living in the house?
Yes. And I'm standing out front talking to an investor, and my TC runs out, and and I'm like, what happened? What happened? She's like, a cockroach, she's screaming, like a cockroach fell on her from the wall. And at that point I was like, oh, she's for sure quitting.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Behind the Lockbox. I'm Stephanie Zalowski. And today, oh crap, I didn't ask how you say your last name, but I'm going to take a stab at this. We have Jenna Yost Hoyas. Is that right?
Nailed it.
I did?
Yep. First time.
Yeah, I'm so proud of myself. Okay. Jenna is the co-owner of the Yost Quesada team. Did I say that right as well?
Perfect.
Damn, I am on fire today.
So good.
With Douglas Elliman, and she has been in the business for 13 years. We basically found out we're pretty much the same person. Our birthdays are a year and 2 days apart, which is wild. And we've been like running into each other at Broker Caravan for years, but like we always smile and say hi, but like we've never actually talked, which I don't know why.
It's crazy. I feel like sometimes in that room, there's so many people.
There's so much going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, you came up on social media or something happened, and I feel like someone else said something to me like, Jenna, and I was like, she's on the list. I reached out to you and you're like, hell yeah, I'll come on. I was like, yes. So I am so pumped you're here. Welcome to Behind the Lockbox.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
I'm so glad you're here. Okay. When you walked in, I literally said, how many stories? And you're like, well, I have like thousands basically. But you started to tell me something about animals, and like we've had, and you did say like, I feel like you've had all the stories on that we have, but there's always a twist, right? Like there's always something. And like we've had people come on that talk about animals on property or pets or disgusting things or whatever the case may be, but like it always takes a turn somewhere. So I'm just going to let you take it away, because who knows where this is going to go.
Yeah. And I watched some of the previous episodes just to get an idea of what to talk about. Yeah. And one of the common themes that we joke about it in our team is there's always, everybody has stories, but there's always something year over year that comes up with animals. And it starts back with my business partner, Mary, actually helped people buy a house out in Descanso, which is like a super rural area in East County.
East San Diego, if anyone doesn't know where it's at.
And this, I can send you the article too. It's actually in the she spoke about it in the Wall Street Journal last year. But
oh shit,
the sellers on this property had left behind a wild boar. And
wait, were they like feeding it? Was it just, they allowed it to kind of live?
This was factually, it was over a decade ago, so I don't remember. But yes, the boar was living on the property.
Oh boy.
And she left, and it became the buyer's responsibility. So
happens.
It was just other things get left behind, like maybe a stray cat, never a dog, but like a boar got left behind on.
And can't they be mean?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, they can be super aggressive.
Yeah. And so like, what is the seller to do? Was it like coming on to like up near the house, or like?
It was free. If I remember correctly, it was free roaming around this, because it was like acre of land. It's out in Descanso.
Ted the wild boar. They just like,
you move out there for space, no neighbors, and people they've got chickens and horses and different animals out there. And this specific property had a boar.
Oh boy. And it's so funny because we were also chatting. We're both from Tucson, Arizona. I was not raised there. I was raised in Phoenix, but you were raised there. Yeah. And like I told you, I was just at a wedding for my cousin down there. And like we were at Tanque Verde Guest Ranch, and we're like sitting, and all of a sudden I see people like running to go look at something, and it's like a family of javelina.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of the same thing, right? Yeah. And by the way, if anyone can hear this fucking construction going on, if you can hear it in the headphones, I know you guys can hear it at home. I'm so sorry. We have construction on both sides of my house right now happening. Anyway, it was like they were kind of roaming through, and there were babies and like with the mom and dad or whatever. And you got to be careful. You know what I mean? Like, so when you buy a property, you don't necessarily think that you're going to be taking on, crazy pets or whatever the case may be. Like that's, oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And that was the most extreme. Like I've had a couple in the last few years where the chickens convey. So sellers are moving out of state and they leave the chickens behind, whether it's in
Did they tell them?
Yes.
Okay. So that's a little bit better.
Yes. But again, clients fall in love with the house and they walk outside and they're like, oh crap, there's a chicken coop out here. I'm buying a house in North Park. Like this was not what I expected. I'm in Metro San Diego. Why are there chickens here? God. And they learned how to take care of them because
I mean, then they got fresh eggs. Like that's like, I'm not totally mad at that. Fun fact.
Yeah.
My dad, Dad, if you're watching, maybe you drop this in a comment because I don't remember how this came about. However, when we were in grade school, my dad thought it would be a fun project for us to hatch chickens.
Awesome.
And we did. I had an incubator in my room. So in the middle of the night when they were getting close to hatching, you hear like the cheep, 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 cheep. Like it was actually really adorable. They were not all supposed to hatch, but they did. And we literally had chickens running around our backyard. And then eventually a couple of them became roosters. And then that's when we had to get rid of them. And like, because then they're on the back fence crowing at 5 a.m. And like we're in suburbia. So that was not Chandler, Arizona, that people were like, what is going on? But it's the same thing. Like I've actually never, that's funny. I guess you can't have a chicken coop in North Park.
Apparently you can, because now I've helped people buy and then I've sold a house with chickens. So
I have yet. I mean, further out, like whatever, people have had chicken coops and things like that. Like I have a estate in Rancho Santa Fe, things like that. Like where it was there and that was kind of normal because they had horses and whatever
space
else.
For it.
Right. Not North Park.
And now that we're talking about it, you're going to have like your next 3 listings are going to have chickens.
I'm literally going to be texting you and be like, guess what I'm showing today? And it has a chicken coop. Like what the hell? Like of all things, you know what I mean?
Yep.
That's hysterical. So what did the seller have to do? Did they have to call? Do you remember? Did they have to call like animal control and try to get it removed?
The boar?
Yeah.
No.
Or can you not? Because it's
these specific people of the land, like they were excited. They moved out there he had a bow and arrow. And PETA, don't come after me. This is all public info in the Wall Street Journal. But
Jenna did not kill anything with a bow and arrow, people. Okay,
definitely not. I love all animals, but it was aggressive and it
needed to go.
Right. Yep.
So he was a man of the land and took care of it with his bow and arrow.
Sure did.
That's kind of impressive. Mm-hmm. I mean, shit. All right. Well, God, that's so funny.
Yeah.
I mean, it happens. Like we've had. A year ago when Ashley Renfrey came on, she was like talking about like there was she's never been someone that like is a dog person, but she took a listing and they had pets, but there was like dog shit everywhere.
Oh yeah.
Every single time she came in to do a showing, and it's like, guys, can you please pick up after the dog? Like what is happening? But like we run into animal stuff all the time, whether it's dogs that you're like, is that dog staying out back for this showing because I don't really want to die right now? Or, I love, how much do you love this? When you go to like an open house or to do a showing and it's like the door's closed and there's no, it's like, please don't let the cat out. And I'm like, this is so stressful. What do you mean? What if my client goes in there and I don't see them and the door's open and the cat runs? Like, can we not?
We've had, and I think there was like a 2-year run where every listing we took, there was a cat.
No. And I'm allergic.
So my 2 business partners are really allergic too. Would be sitting at the table for the listing appointment, and the cat would like crawl on my partner Christina's lap. Or my other partner Mary. They're both allergic.
My throat is closing as we like talk about it.
I like all animals. I'm not. I don't mind cats, so whatever. And then,
but they always crawl in our laps.
The ones that are allergic.
The ones that are allergic or that don't like. Nobody come for me. I'm not a cat lover. Sorry, I'm just not. But like, they come right for me. Yeah. Because they know. They're like, oh, I'm going to crawl in your lap, make you itch, and I know you don't like me. Yeah.
It's always the cats, though. I had one again, back to North Park. I was showing a listing and my client ended up buying it. Thank goodness.
Oh, good.
In the MLS confidential remarks, it says like in all capitals, like they're yelling at me, do not let the cat out. And I'm like, got it. Loud and clear. I'm not going to let the cat out.
It's so stressful to me. Like, can we please take the cat somewhere in a kennel for the day for the showings? Like, why?
And 90% of the time you get to the house and the cat's hiding. Like the cat doesn't want to see you.
Yeah, they usually are under the bed. They don't come out. Like it's fine.
So I'm showing this house in North Park. It's small. It's like 800 square feet. So it's
you can kind of like see around.
Pretty much. And I'm trying to focus on showing the property, but I'm also having like anxiety about this cat getting out.
And had you seen it when you walked in?
Nope.
Okay. So
no
you
idea.
Haven't seen it yet. So you're like, okay, like hopefully.
And clients who are also friends of mine, they're loving the house. And I'm like, cool, we're definitely putting in an offer. They ended up buying it. But there's this cat outside and the cat is like meowing and scratching at the door. And I'm like, God, agents are such dumbasses. I bet somebody before me let this cat out. So I'm like, come on, I open the door, let the cat in.
Oh,
and
no,
I'm
Jenna.
like, oh, I saved the cat. Thank God. Like, hero. I'm literally like the best agent ever. And then I get a call from the listing agent maybe 45 minutes later. She's like, hey, Jenna, what cat did you let into my client's house? And I was like, oh no.
You're like, what do you mean there's more than one?
Well, I guess there was a cat that's like the neighborhood cat that people feed. And there was like a water bowl outside. So I assumed it was like an indoor-outdoor cat. So I was like, congrats, your client now has 2 cats. So I let some random cat into this property. And I mean, they bought the house. It was fun. I was like, hey, at least we bought
hey, at least we bought the house. Like I kind of broke it, but I bought it. So like, we're okay, right? Like we're cool. No way. And then, oh my God, did they get the cat out and like everything was fine? But it's like
that it's
like a feral cat basically.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's something I would do.
Yep.
That is 100% something I'd be like, you're welcome, I saved the day. Stupid agent previously let the cat out. Like, don't worry, I put the cat back inside. Then you hear fighting from a back bedroom. Like, oh my God.
It was an ongoing joke because my friends bought the house. So I would go over for like dinners, happy hours, and like the cat was just hanging out outside.
And the cat's still there because he conveyed with the house basically.
And my friend was allergic. So like they couldn't let the cat in. They had a beagle who would bark at the cat, but the cat just hung out outside.
Cat was like, no. Like, and by the way, you let me in. You're cool. Can you let me in again? Like I could get some of that food again.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That is so something I would do 100%. Oh my God. Well, anyway. Behind the Lockbox is sponsored by Property Showcase Group. Property Showcase Group has a team of creatives, directors, producers, editors, marketing specialists, and designers that work in tandem to tell and share stories of the built environment. Whether you're looking for full-service production or simply just need content creation, Property Showcase Group can help take your business to the next level. To learn more or to contact Property Showcase Group to schedule a consultation, you can find them at propertyshowcasegroup.com. That's spelled PropertyShowcasegroup.com. PropertyShowcaseGroup.com. I'm back to talk about our sponsor and producer, Property Showcase Group. This is for all my agent and affiliate friends out there. Property Showcase Group has a special offer for you. The first 3 agents to email Property Showcase Group at teampsg@propertyshowcasegroup.com will get 1 month free of social media management using code LOCKBOX. That's right, 1 month free. And they're offering 20% off your first video production using code LOCKBOX. For more information, contact Property Showcase Group at teampsg@propertyshowcasegroup.com, and don't forget to use code LOCKBOX or mention this podcast. Okay. What were we talking about when I first walked in? I asked you disgusting. Didn't I ask you about a gross story? I did. Okay.
This one is gross. No. I think it's gross. Sorry in advance. So we had a listing out, and everybody, it's, on the MLS, like investor special. So just picture what that looks like in your mind, because this was one of those properties. There was a pool in the backyard. Looked like there could have been an alligator in there, type of a thing. Like very
totally
swampy.
Green, swampy, disgusting.
Just a property that it needed some TLC, as we like to
say the least,
in real estate. So our whole team was there. We were hosting an investor open house, and my TC at the time, who's so sweet, she was there, helping walk some investors through. And there was like stuff growing on the wall. It was just, it had, somebody needed to come in and flip it.
Was somebody living in the house?
Yes.
I
think there had been tenants in there for like 50, between like 30 and it was a long-term tenants.
Whoa.
And they were, being asked to leave.
Situation. Like it's really a condemned situation at this point.
And I'm standing out front talking to an investor, and my TC runs out, and and I'm like, what happened? She's like, a cockroach, she's screaming, like a cockroach fell on her from the wall. And at that point I was like, oh, she's for sure quitting. And like, she didn't, thank goodness. She's probably going to see this and laugh because she's still a dear friend. But yeah, cockroach, cannot make this stuff up. But that's the stuff that like we laugh about as agents, but like we glamorize everything. So we're not putting sometimes not all the gross stuff on social media, but that was like, I still have the most vivid memory of that cockroach.
Oh my God. So I recently did an episode with Luke Middleton, who, do you know Luke?
Yeah.
Okay. So he's a flipper and he goes into all kinds of disgusting stuff.
Yeah.
So if anyone hasn't listened to the episode, go back and listen. He went into like a townhome, and this was like in the days where like things were being foreclosed on. Right. Yeah. And he said it was like a newer townhome. And I still just don't understand, like, to this day, that like he said that the walls were infested with cockroaches. Like, you would put your hand on the wall and they would like crawl over your hand. There was kids sleeping on mattresses. Oh my God. Like, very upsetting. Like, very, very upsetting, right? Where he was just like, what is happening? And by the way, there was like a new BMW in the garage and a big screen TV on the wall, but like nothing else. And you're like, great, cool, got your priorities straight. Yep. But that was happening back then a lot. That has never happened to me. I mean, I have a teardown right now coming to market, and like, but it's not like they're having it sprayed. So like, I'm not seeing bugs and stuff like that. Like, I have walked into many properties before though, where you're like, there is dead cockroaches or feces, but you're not really sure what those feces are from. No. Is it from a wild animal?
Dealer's choice. No one knows.
Dealer's choice. That should be the name of this episode, actually. Like, you just don't know what you're going to get, which is kind of our job in a nutshell anyway. But like, it was, I mean, he said, some of the things and stories that he's told about these houses he's walked through, any hoarder situation where you're like walking through a path, like, you definitely like don't want to touch anything because they keep trash. They keep, you are seeing, like, I have years and years ago walked into a hoarder house and there were like maggots in the kitchen. And I actually don't think I'd ever actually seen one in person like that. And I literally almost lost my lunch, went running out, and we were supposed to tour the house next door. And they're like, oh, the investor agent was like, well, like, we think they had bed bugs last week. And I was like, nope, I have never run so fucking fast in my entire life. I was at the street. I was itching. I was like, oh my God. Like, I can't. Like, I'm itching now just thinking about it. You know what I mean? And I'm such a clean freak that like, I literally cannot even fathom having, I see one spider in my house and that bitch is gone.
I'm like, burn it down.
Burn it down. Done. Like, it is gone, which, by the way, I have a story for you offline later. Okay. There was a spider crawling on my bathroom wall the other night and I didn't kill it. And now I don't know where it went and I'm on a hunt for it.
Good. It's probably like in my shoe.
Don't worry. I've torn apart the house cleaning looking for it and I have yet to find it. But I think it bit me actually. And it's a wild story. I'm not going to tell it on the podcast.
Superpowers are coming your way.
Somebody was like, so you're telling me you're Spider Woman now? And I was like, well, it landed me in the hospital. No story for another time.
Okay.
Anyway, it's been a wild few days.
Oh my goodness.
So I'm currently tearing my clean house apart looking for this spider because like, I literally was like, what the hell? Like, I don't see that. You know what I mean? Like, so to be in a place with it, and if it would have fallen on it, that would have been it. I probably would have been throwing up outside, to be honest with you.
Just
done. Again, burn it down.
Yeah.
I would have been like, you know what? This is actually a land deal now because we just torched the house.
I mean,
like, no, thank you.
Your place is beautiful, but for like the one in that specific one, like, thank goodness for investors because
no kidding.
They can help people who are in those situations get to a better place.
Yep.
They're able to sell the home, walk away.
They can see the potential.
They turn it into something beautiful.
Gut it and flip it. Yep.
My partners and I, we were flipping from 2021 to 2023 about. We did 4 houses, just women-owned flipping, but we didn't have any like...
I love this.
It was, we tabled it for a little bit,
okay.
But I don't think we had any, like, I'm trying to remember.
Bad.
Nothing, like, we were a little bit conservative on the buys, but nothing was like, oh my God, this is like, no gross.
Yeah.
Nothing gross, nothing.
Yeah.
The second house we did, the third house we did in Linda Vista, and I know nothing about plants. I kill plants, but there was a staghorn, which apparently is I hope I'm saying the right thing. It's some really expensive plant that like almost grows out of a fence. I'll send you a picture of it.
Oh my God. I've never heard of this.
And people were like freaking out about it. So that was something that was at this.
That they were like excited about it?
Oh yeah, people were like over the moon, like had to have, and one of the neighbors who knew we gave it to the neighbor who was like super sweet. And
that's hysterical. Yeah. That you're like, oh no, you can have it. I will kill it if I touch it. So like, you know. By the way, I'm not allowed to have plants. Max, if we can see my dead snake plant in this video, we're going to have to cut that out because I have yet to replant it. It's literally has like 4 stalks over here, Jenna. You can see it when you look, but it's really bad.
That's actually, I've seen worse.
It's really bad. Yeah, Max, is it in the shot? Okay, good. We're going to have to get rid of that because it's like embarrassing. And yesterday I was like, doing a bunch of stuff around the house. And I was like, I got to go get a new snake plant and replant it because it's normally in the shot.
Yeah.
Same thing. Like I can barely keep a snake plant alive. I've killed an air plant. It's possible.
Is that one of the ones in the glass?
Like, yes. It's like those, like, they're like, they don't need water, but like they can die. And I'm like, yeah, leave it to me to kill that. Like, no, thank you.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Succulents don't even have a chance in my house.
No, I have one outside that I've never watered because it just, I'm like, well, isn't it going to get like moisture from outside? Like and one of my girlfriends came over, she's like, this is looking a little sad. And I was like, I mean, okay, just like pour some more. I don't know. Like it's an outdoor cat. Like, what do you want me to do? Like, I can't.
Doing the best I can.
I can't be irresponsible. Yeah. Anyway, I have a dog and I keep her alive and that's
all that matters.
Literally where it ends. So.
That's yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Myself, husband and dog. I'm good.
Yeah. I don't even have a husband and me and the dog is enough. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
Anyway, do you have any more or do you want to play a game?
Game sounds
Let's
fun.
play a game because this will incite some stories for you. And I have one that I'm like really eager to like know this question for.
Oh God.
So this game is called Punch List. Okay. So we hit you with 3 questions. So just like the first thing that comes to mind. Okay. And try not to let the construction deter you from,
I will not.
You know, because it's driving me crazy. Okay. What is the weirdest thing or situation you've ever walked in on?
The first home my first buyer I've ever represented, first deal ever in real estate. I was showing the house I ended up buying.
Okay.
The agent on the other side, unfortunately not a great communicator. We were walking through the house. Somebody was asleep and I opened the door and they jumped out of bed. Grown man in his underwear jumped out of bed. And it was my first time I'm about to write an offer for these buyers.
Day one on the job.
Basically. And this guy jumps out of bed in his underwear. And it scared me. And I'm like, do I cry? Like, I didn't know because this was like...
Do I cry?
I wasn't like...
Do I apologize? Like, what do I say?
I was in my 20s and I'm like, oh my God. And I was like trying to, you're following every rule.
100%.
I probably like was excited I got the lockbox open that day. I'm just like, everything's going...
I'm excited when I get the lockbox open now. Like, I'm telling you. Yeah.
And everything is like going my way. And then this guy jumps out of bed and like my clients are terrified too. They're there with their kids. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Was it the seller or a tenant?
It was the seller.
Oh my God. And you're like... Sorry, I thought we had a confirmed appointment because again, you're representing the buyer. So like the listing agent didn't tell them. Oh my God. Oh my God.
First house I ever closed on. Thank goodness.
And you're still here. You didn't quit. Just like your TC. Like you're still here.
Resilient.
Like, we are a very resilient breed. Let me tell you. Yes. Okay. What is your biggest pet peeve? This can literally be anything: business, personal, life, whatever. Some people have really funny ones. So I'm always curious.
Okay. Oh, yes. And I'm so sorry, please agents don't get mad at me for saying this. We're not squirrels. When people use the word nestled in a property description, like we're not burrowing for the winter, it literally drives me nuts because people could be describing like a $20 million property in La Jolla and they're like nestled. I'm like, people are living in La Jolla. Like they're not nestling.
Do you know that every time I see the word nestled now, I will be sending it to you and I might actually write a funky description and just be like, look what I'm going to put in my listing description. Just kidding.
I can't. And
that's so funny.
I was joking with my team about it because you put it into ChatGPT and I think that's what it cranks out nestled.
You know what's so funny though is like I use ChatGPT all the time to write my listing descriptions now because I came from a marketing background. So I was doing it like I was raw dogging those for a long time and I was pretty damn proud of it. Right. And I'd send it to I was on a team for a very long time and I'd send it to our marketing person. She'd clean it up for me. Yeah. She rarely had to clean a lot up. I was like pretty proud of myself. Right.
Killing it.
Now I'm like, I cannot be bothered. However, hot tip. Can you please, people, if you're going to use a ChatGPT or any AI listing description, can you clean it up a little bit?
A little bit.
Like, because some of it doesn't make sense because AI only knows so much, right? Like it gets it pretty spot on, but like, can we just maybe clean it up a little bit? Thanks. And stop using nestled because we're not squirrels.
Nope.
That's hysterical.
I can't.
That's so funny. We had one recently.
I laugh though when I see it, but it is a pet peeve.
I had asked my brother, we got on this subject at Christmas somehow. I was going to make him record an episode with me. We just haven't done it yet, but we were talking about somehow got on like pet peeves and like he was saying something that his boss hates. And he's like, I really hate when people say like, let's take it offline. And he's like, because you're not offline. You're on the phone or you're on Zoom still, or you're on your Teams call. So like you're not offline. You're just out of the meeting. And so in our group chat, in our family chat, sometimes I'll be like, well, let's take this offline. And he just like I just get like the middle finger or whatever from him because it's funny. But like, it's so funny the things that drive us like crazy. Like mine are mostly related to road rage because I have road rage. Anyway.
Oh, also that. But
I'm a very fast driver and people need to get out of my way. You know, I have things to do and people to see.
Places
to go. Okay. I'm super curious about this one.
Okay.
If you could be anything other than a real estate agent, what would you be and why?
Oh my gosh.
You've done this for so long, but do you love the jackhammer in the background? Is it helping you
I would
think?
Not be in construction. That's not.
I love it. Way to bring it back, Jenna. Thank you so much.
I can barely like nail a picture onto the wall, so that's not what you want. Probably an event planner.
Oh, I could see that.
I really love, like we do events for work, but like I love planning events and I
like all the detail and everything that goes into it and just like the creative outlet that comes with that.
I love that. I'd probably do something in events.
That's super cool. I really, really love that. Yeah. I mean, so often people will say things like, oh, like an architect or designer or something. And every once in a while I get like DJ or like doctor or lawyer, something that they like ended up not doing. Like I said I wanted to be a country singer, but I can't sing.
When I was a kid, that's literally what I wanted to do.
We are literally the same person.
Yeah. I also have a hospital spider bite story that we can take offline after we're done here.
Okay. Do you want to come co-host this podcast with me? Because like you're really good at this. Like look at you just circling back and being funny. Jenna, I love you.
It doesn't happen.
We are going to take it offline. Yeah, this actually just happened to me last Friday. Okay. So it was a little traumatic and I'm still coming down from all of it. But people don't even know on the podcast what happened. It's fine. I'm fine. I'm still here. Everything's fine. But I'm pretty sure I'm Spider-Woman now. So
thank goodness.
Anyway. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
This was so fun. We have to have
awesome.
you come back. Maybe your partner comes back with you or like we'll do something like with your team or something. That would be really fun. I love when people come on because what will happen is somebody will hear this and they'll be like, you didn't tell this story. And you'll be like, damn it. Like there's so many stories that we have. So like, you know, we'll have to have you back on for sure. So,
done.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
All right, guys, of course, please don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Behind the Lockbox. Leave us a kind review. And of course, please download the show. We need your downloads. And thank you so much for listening. We'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Thanks for listening. Behind the Lockbox is produced and edited by Property Showcase Group. If you like this podcast, please share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, or review this podcast. Thanks for your support. See you next week.